Technology has made riding bikes so much better these days. We have motors and batteries powering you along, and we also have these handlebar mounted bicycle computers. Now this little black box, don't let it fool you by its size, it's a wealth of information. It's going to tell you how to get to a location, and it's going to tell you how hard you've worked to get there. And on the flip side, it can tell you how to get home too. But this has so much more, and that's what it's about today. We have been set the ultimate challenge ride, max speed, biggest jumps, maximum heart rate. It sounds like a big day out, so we better get cracking. For today's ride, I've been set a load of challenges by the guys back at eMBN HQ. Things that are really gonna push my personal limits and open up my riding. And for recording the data today, we're gonna be using the Garmin Edge 830 on the handlebars and my Fenix watch. Both of these are gonna monitor the ride in very different ways. And talking of those challenges, what have we got? Here we go. Okay, first challenge on the cards is to find a fresh new trail, and this is my local stomping ground, so I do know it pretty well, but there's new trails popping up all the time. So let's go on the hunt for something fresh and use a bit of this tech. I'm using Commute here that I've downloaded to my Garmin head unit via the IQ store. I've searched nearby trails and it's coming up with lots of different options. And judging by the pics, looks like there's some epic locations too. Some jumps, some downhills, some single tracks. Looks like it definitely ticks a list. So let's go check it out. So this is pretty crazy. I'm in the woods on a dirt track and this head unit is telling me where to go turn by turn, much, the same way as a car sat-nav will. Okay, so I'm just going along the road here and the trail turns off to my right, so that must be it just here. Just basically following the purple line. Okay, so the head unit is saying that this new trail is somewhere here on the left. Should be right here apparently. There it is, and no wonder I've not even ridden this one. This is definitely pretty fresh. There's not even a trail into it, and this looks pretty promising. Go check it out. Nice, so that's finding a new trail ticked off the list. I'm definitely going to be saving that one, and of course every trail that I hit today is going to be saved by my Garmin so I can go back time and time again and hit that up. Next challenge is one that I'm not looking forward to. It is a max heart rate challenge, so it involves a big hill and probably eco mode or maybe off. Let's go. Right, the next challenge out of the bag is the max heart rate challenge, and they've set me 180 beats per minute for this climb. But given that I'm 40 years old, that would be my max heart rate. So I don't want to have a heart attack today because I want to finish this video for you guys. So I think something around 160 is definitely going to be achievable on this. And people say that e-bikes don't give you a good workout. Well, they certainly do if you use the right power modes and you ride them in the correct places. Now behind me here, we have a really steep climb that's kind of legendary in this area. We have motorbike trials riders go up this, and it is pretty hard work on those bikes. I have climbed it on my e-bike before, but not in a lower assist mode. So let's see what we can get my heart pumping to. So to monitor my heart rate on this climb, all I'm going to be using is my Fenix watch. Now this monitors my heart rate via my wrist. If I do want to go a little bit deeper into the details of heart rate, I can of course put a chest strap on, and that will connect wirelessly to my head unit, and therefore I can go a little bit deeper into those details. But for this test, I'm just going to be using my watch. So it's super simple to record heart rate via your watch. All you need to do is select which profile you want to ride in, start your ride, and then that watch is going to monitor your heart rate the whole time. And of course, on section of the trail, be it climbs or downhill, it will record what heart rate you're working at. If you want to go deeper into the details, you can go into the Connect app and look how hard your heart was actually beating on that section of trail. And it's a really good way of monitoring your fitness and staying on top of that progress. Right, let's give this one a go and see how hard we get that heart pumping. It's not giving me a lot of boost yet. Oh, it's quite slippy. Right, we're still in eco mode, grinding it out. Try to get that max heart rate. Harder, allez. Oh, look at that. Whoa, that's pretty crazy. I actually got up that in eco mode. I have tried, normally just do that in boost, but that was actually quite a good workout in eco mode. Didn't actually seem that much coming up the hill, but now I can really feel it pounding. Oh, it's gonna fall out, I think. Oh, just missed out. 158 beats per minute on that, close to 160, but not quite there. But I don't want my heart falling on my chest today. I want to go and have some fun. So let's get on to the next challenge. Now, one of my favorite things to do post-ride is download all that data from my Garmin to the Garmin Connect app. Now, within the Connect app, it's a great insight into that ride. It can obviously show you where you've been riding and at what speed. But one of the features I like about this is it can show you how much faster or slower you've been on a section of trail that you've previously ridden before. Now, this is done via a heat map, so you can see if it really was worth pushing that a little bit harder. It can also show you what heart rate zones you've been working in. So that's really important when it comes down to training. It's a great way of motivating yourself when you're out there on those solo rides. Okay, next challenge on the cards is to hit 40 miles per hour on a downhill section. And it doesn't actually stipulate whether this needs to be off-road or on the road. So I think I've got just a hill in mind for this one. And of course, my Garmin will record maximum and average speed on all of my rides. Let's get down that hill and smash 40 miles per hour. But first, aero mode engaged. Let's tuck this top in and let's get it done. Right, so the challenge is, of course, to hit 40 miles per hour or 64.3 kilometers an hour. So we're going to this one in boost mode. Of course, I'm over the limiter already. We are at 20 mile an hour now, 40k. So let's go, that's the end of that hill. So the stats are in from the max speed test. Well, some interesting data on this one. We've done 0.55 miles, so half a mile in 1 minute, 14 seconds. With average speed of 26.55 miles per hour and a maximum speed of 45.71 miles per hour. So we smashed that 40 mile per hour target with ease. So on to the next challenge. Right, next challenge on the card is to get 1.5 seconds of air time. Now, air time or hang time is the amount of time that your bike spends in the air. It doesn't sound like a lot, but I can assure you it actually is. We're here at Windhill Bike Park on the Red Run, and there's some pretty sizable tables here. We're talking 20 to 25 foot distance. So we're gonna hit these up and see how much hang time we get on these. And if it isn't enough, we might have to step it up to that next level. I think it's pretty crazy that a little black box on my handlebars knows how long I'm actually spending in the air. So with the Garmin Edge 830 head unit that I'm using today, it has the ability to measure how many jumps you do on your ride, as well as how far you go and the amount of air time you get, as well as the entry speed that you hit the jump at. All this runs in the background using inbuilt sensors on every single ride, so you can be sure to show your mates how much airtime you've got on your ride. Right, we've hit all the jumps here on this small section of Emperor, the red run. Looking back through the data on my Garmin, I hit 5 jumps in total, ranging from 0.4 seconds of hang time all the way up to 0.91. So not quite a second on my biggest jump. And the biggest jump was 22 feet long at a speed of 16.91 miles per hour on the entry speed. So the red run didn't really give us 1.5 seconds of airtime. So I think we're gonna have to step it up to jumps like these. This is a pro line here at Windhill Bike Park, and these jumps range from around 35 foot to nearly 50 foot distance. So we're gonna hit these up and see if they give us over 1.5 seconds of airtime. I'm thinking this one probably will if I pull up on it, and that final booter, well, that definitely sends you to the moon. So let's see what the Garmin has to say. Let's drop in. Right, so that Garmin is just gonna measure that hang time automatically, and we're into the first hit. This is a boner log. Whoa, quite windy. Hit, double into that final last one. Right, so the Garmin, looking at the stats on this, the first drop, the boner log, distance was 15 feet and a hang time of 1.3 seconds, so nearly getting it just on that boner log. Next jump, the hip, 1.41 seconds of hang time, a distance of 19 foot. Second jump, 35 foot and a hang time of 1.53 seconds. And the final big booter, which definitely gave me a lot of air, was 1.68 seconds of hang time and a distance of 48 feet and an entry speed of 19.41 miles an hour. That really blows me away. This little black box on my handlebars knows how far I'm jumping, how much air I've got, and how big that jump was. Simply mind-blowing. One of my favourite features of the Garmin Edge 830 is the flow and the grit score that you can get on each of your rides. Now this runs in the background on every single ride that you do, and it's a great way of monitoring your progress. Basically the grit score is done by how gnarly the trail is, how steep the climbs are, how steep the descents are, and how gnarly the actual trail is. And the flow score is simply flow. So it measures how well you're flowing down that trail, how well you're exiting those turns, landing those jumps. It's a coach pretty much on your handlebars. As I mentioned, it is a great way of noting that improvement. Right, so this is run one of a couple of runs just to measure if we can improve our grit and, well, our flow score down this red trail. So I'm just going to ride it how I would normally and see if we can improve. Try and pick those nice smooth lines, land every jump smooth as I can. Let's take a quick look at that flow score. Flow score was 6.5 and the grit score was 0.7k on that, so quite a high grit score, but the flow score was 6.5. Let's try and get that one a bit smoother. Right, second run then, just to try and improve this flow score. Let's see what we can come up with. So just need to be super smooth, maybe a little bit faster as well, so let's see. Yes, smooth, hit this nice and smooth. Oh yeah, butter man. Not sure what it thinks about those whips, but trying to just keep it as smooth as we can. And that was just like margarine on toast. Super smooth. Right, so I just completed my smoothest run here at Windhill on that red run, and the Garmin has confirmed that I was 0.2 better on flow than my first run down. So a definite improvement there. And I think it's a really important feature on this is to be able to measure how well you're riding, how well you're hitting those jumps, how much cornering speed you're carrying, how much flow you've got on the trail. And I think if you're a sole rider at the bike park, it really shows that improvement. And it is a great thing to have. I mean, if you're riding with your friends, they can say, wow, you look super quick through there. But if you're riding by yourself, you have no idea. So getting one of these on board is definitely going to show you how much you're progressing throughout the day. As well as finding new trails, your Garmin will actually time you on segments of trail on apps such as Strava. And that's exactly what I'm going to be doing today. I've been set a challenge to either get a personal best or a king of mountain on a segment of trail here at Windhill Bike Park. And as you may well know, this is my local bike park, so I've ridden these downhill trails to the max, and I fancy something a little bit different today. So we're going to be going for it on a fire road climb all the way up to the top of the start of the trails, dig deep and see how my time stacks up against some of these other e-mountain bikes. And of course, I'm going to be riding it in eMTB mode, so I'm not going to be upsetting any of the Strava heroes on Strava when it comes to normal mountain biking. Let's give it a go. Trail etiquette is of course super important when trying to get those personal bests or king of mountains. Look out for other trail users, don't cut corners on trails by taking those Strava lines. And remember, it's just a bit of fun, not the World Championships. Right, let's go for it on this climb then. Don't really want to dig in too much over that limiter. Some guys gone sub 3 minutes on this climb on e-bike. Of course I'm in boost mode. This is still pretty killer. People tell you e-bikes are easy. You ain't riding them hard enough. That's pretty hardcore. Right, we just recovered from that climb here at Windhill Bike Park, and I've downloaded the data from my Garmin to my Strava app on my mobile phone, and it is good news. There is a gold medal next door to my name denoting that I have got a personal best here on the climb, and it smashed it by about 30 seconds. So it just goes to show how valuable that Garmin is as when it comes to training and pushing your limits, especially when you're out here doing some solo rides. But looking back, it's been an absolutely epic day out, and I think my favorite challenge from today is probably that hill bomb where we tried to go over 40 miles per hour. Took that one off the list, and those big jumps as well. That's totally my bag. I just think it's a great insight, you know, to all that data that you're getting from those rides, and love to hear the stories from you guys, whether you've challenged each other to those challenges similar to what we've done today, or maybe what you'd like to see on those Garmin head units. What is a feature that they haven't yet done which could be used on our e-bikes? Get involved down in the comments box down below. Give us a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe to us here on EMBN and get in the merch shop too, and check out these new jerseys, and we'll see you in the next one.